It turns out that that wasn't a gimmick at all, John. The man meant exactly what he said on Trophy Day. Celtic mean business.
When you become champions, then the target on your back becomes even bigger.
Not bad. Celtic only scored 9 goals.
Real Madrid, RB Leipzig, Shakhtar Donetsk.
That was pretty much perfection, wasn't it?
Celtic have beaten Hearts by 4 goals to 3 at Tynecastle.
I was pretty wound up by some of the stuff I saw tonight.
It's a proper goal of the season contender for me. These games just take so much out of you.
We need to drop points 5 games out of 7.
Yeah.
So we're going to win the league.
Champions again, ole ole. Champions again, ole ole. Celtic have just won their 5th treble in 7 seasons, Stephen. How good is the feeling, right, when you wake up the morning after the day before, and the day before being a major Celtic result, and you wake up and that moment when you remember, we won that game. It's pretty magic, and we all got to experience that this morning. If you have been to sleep, of course. Scott, you tweeted shortly after full time to remind everyone that Ange had got lucky again. Did you enjoy staying up till whatever time it was and watching that?
I got beaten to the punch, didn't I? In terms of, I think Chris might have beat me just by about 5 seconds, Chris Sutton. It was just waiting in the wings, wasn't it? In terms of, obviously, when that result come through. Yeah, I think we got really lucky, didn't we? You know, but the boys played particularly well. I thought they were excellent first half and dominated proceedings and deserved the first goal. And look, in these games, you know, both teams are going to have moments within them, right? You're not going to be fully dominant. It's very, very rare in these games you get a full dominant performance, particularly in a cup final. So they're going to have moments within it. And it looked like Rangers were coming good in that first, you know, in the beginning of the second half. They come out with energy. We knew to expect that because that happened in the game at Ibrox. But caught them on the sucker and 2-0 up. And, you know, for me, it was very comfortable. But all of a sudden, we took the foot off the gas and then, you know, allowed Rangers to get back in the game itself. But can't fault the performance from there. The defence was excellent. And, yeah, some really, really top performances all round. It was a great game to watch, obviously, being that Celtic won the game. But I think if you were a neutral watching Celtic and Rangers for the first time, I think it was an excellent game as well for the neutral.
I think that's a good point. I mean, I watched the game again on Monday, and it was a good game. Maybe the quality at times wasn't there, but in terms of, you know, a kind of end-to-end match, but yeah. But I mean, I felt we controlled the game as well for probably 75% of that. John, you were the voice of reason, I'm going to call you. You kept me calm during the nerves of Sunday with not 1 but 2 WhatsApp messages simply saying we will win. How were you throughout the game, though, actually? Be honest.
That was bravado, I would have to say, because during the game it was obviously a nervous wreck, and I don't mind saying that because that is just the stakes of these occasions. And it's interesting, like I thought it was a good game as well, and a really exciting kind of end-to-end game at points, especially in that second half. And I was really surprised to, you know, some of the columnists and some of the sports writers here were kind of talking down the game as a spectacle. And I thought it was a brilliant spectacle. And I you know, if you go into these games realising that it's not going to be always going to be about pretty football. It's about the stakes involved. It's about the history of the occasion. It's about the 2 sets of supporters, you know, making raucous noise and the players responding to that and kind of showing who comes out on top in a kind of battle of wills almost. And I've always had full trust in this Ange team that they can do that. And I was obviously nervous during the game. There was periods right up to the first Kyogo goal. I was a nervous wreck. And then I was fine for about 5 minutes after the second Kyogo goal. And then after that to the end, you know, I was a nervous wreck throughout.
So I was just passing the Smiza Stadium home of St Mirren, in glorious, beautiful Paisley, on my way up to Glasgow, and I just kind of thought, why don't I just pop in and we can do an on-location preview to tomorrow's game.
I'm hosting today because Hamish was actually in Paisley for the match today between Celtic and St Mirren, which Celtic wonderfully won 5-1 thanks to a second half blowaway performance after a bit of a first half nervy shocker, shall we say. Hamish, what was the feeling in the ground there? You know, the kind of comeback win and all the drama of that.
Yeah, it's a funny one because you come away from the game feeling like it was a wonderful afternoon, and it was, but a very convincing victory. It wasn't always like that. You know, I don't think we scored our first goal until maybe 55 minutes, something like that. It was nervy. I don't know about you guys. The red card certainly made me feel a bit better, but I mean, I've got complete faith in this team. That didn't, waver at all. But there was something about just given our record here and given that St Mirren were playing every trick in the book, whether it's throwing the ball away or standing in front of the ball or committing fouls, or their ball boys and ball girls not giving us the ball back. It was kind of a little bit worrying in that first half the way it was panning out. But that second half performance, mate, unbelievable.
Certainly unbelievable. Stevie, how were you feeling during that one in the first half and, at half time, shall we say, before going into the second half?
I think you know how I was feeling, John and Hamish too. We are both in a chat, and I was very vocal about that first half performance. I think we were all screaming out for changes to be made, and at half time obviously the manager reacted to that sending off, and I guess we all came away from it at full time. Everyone is crediting the manager. It was how he reacted and how he saw it. St Mirren were going to struggle with Leila Bada was just unbelievable. It was just two different halves, really, wasn't it? And in the end, I'm just so happy. I mean, 3 points first and foremost, but it was such a convincing manner in the end.
I think the sending off just before half time helps the cause, because I think it was almost rinse and repeat from the last time they were there before that. And I think everyone was thinking along those lines in the first half, my goodness, that kit's bad luck. We don't want to see that kit again. I think a lot of people are probably saying in the first half itself. But look, I think it took a scrappy goal just to open the floodgates, didn't it? And once that first goal went in, then I think the result was always going to be inevitable.
Tomorrow is match 100. It's against Hearts, who I think were one of his first kind of competitive games. I think the first Scottish team we played was Hearts. We've got a Celtic win to talk about. 3-1 it was against Hearts tonight. Didn't start very well. Kind of similar to the game at the end of last season. We went behind very early, but Celtic for the second time in like a few days came back to win pretty comfortably. I think we can play a lot better than that though, Stevie. Where are you kind of coming down in terms of your emotions after that tonight?
Well, I'm actually raging because nothing to do with Celtic, of course, and the win there, the performance. It was more to do with what I saw with that balloon, Robbie Nielsen, after what he said after the game. But I'm sure we'll get on to that later on. Guy's a complete idiot, Hamish. But in terms of Celtic, job done. 3 points, 10 more games to go, and the wins keep getting clocked up, which is the main thing.
Celtic are playing Hearts in like a matter of hours now, which seems very weird to say given that we have just played Hearts, but really not much time between these two fixtures. You've effectively just got the whole of Thursday, the whole of Friday, which we're kind of midway through at this stage, and then early tomorrow we're going to be back in action, and it's a big game. It's a Scottish Cup quarter-final. I can't even believe it.
You alright?
I just saw something that stunned me, genuinely. Right before coming live.
What's the matter?
Robbie Nielsen gave us credit. Robbie Nielsen gave
He's
us
alright.
credit.
He's alright, everybody.
Robbie
He's fine.
Nielsen, the Hearts manager Robbie Nielsen gave Celtic credit after today's. Can you believe it?
I'm in disbelief. I had to check. Wasn't it a 2-source rule? It was a 5-source rule when I heard. But yeah, I can't quite believe that he's actually said something magnanimous about us. Fair play to Robbie Nielsen. Didn't think I'd be saying that ever.
I don't think he blamed anything either.
And why? I mean, he's only got himself to blame,
I know,
so that's never going to happen, is it? But are you alright? Can you continue?
I think I'm alright, everyone. I think we've managed to get alright.
Nothing bad to say.
Which is a first.
Celtic were brilliant, absolutely brilliant. That was like, you know, it's the second toughest place for us to go other than Ibrox. We've never had it easy there under Ange until today, and at times, you know, Hearts were going to have spells in the game where they put us under pressure, and we had to rely on, you know, Joe Hart in defence to be big and strong in the way. But I thought Celtic, you know, man for man, all over the pitch were brilliant. They got their goals at really important times that we talked about before we came live here. We thoroughly deserved to be in the semi-final. That's us reached that semi-final in every domestic competition under Ange as well. Another trip to Hampden. No complaints whatsoever today. Celtic just bossed that, start to finish, total control. And as I said to you, it's probably the closest away performance I can think of. That was like the Dundee United game last December. Or no, a couple of Decembers ago. Remember when Rogic scored that goal? But it was a very similar performance to that. We just never looked in a lot of bother. And as I say, the whole 90 minutes there, the manager got the team spot on. The players, their attitude was excellent. And this just sent everybody happy, including myself. So, job done.
Jackie, we've got a tasty question for you to kick off. Is this the best Celtic team since the one that you played in?
Possibly. I think it's a good question. You know, I think a lot of people were talking about Brendan's team, the Invincibles, who had a fantastic time as well. I think it's a different kind of setup, but they're definitely a good side, but they've got a good mentality about them. I think that's the biggest thing. You know, even if it's not, they're not on their game, they still have that mentality to keep going to the end. I think that's what all the good teams have got.
We had the draw after the game, and wouldn't you just know it, guys? I commented on the 1 in 3 chance of us drawing Rangers before the draw, and that's exactly what came out. Rangers versus Celtic in that order. Just wanted to ask you about Calum McGregor, if possible. He's obviously followed on as a really good Celtic captain, but when you speak to some people who knew him earlier on in his career, they maybe didn't see that coming. Can I just ask for you, what was your first impressions of Calum McGregor, and was there a moment when you kind of thought he could be a Celtic captain?
I knew Cal was destined to be the next captain. For me, he has the drive, he has the willingness day to day to make himself better, but also puts the club before everything else, and he's got an addiction to Celtic. He loves coming in, he loves winning games, and I think that's what you want, and he's got that understanding with the fans as well, that they want to see good football. He sets standards in training, and also he pushes them in games. So no, there was no better person for the job, and they could have went out and brought somebody else in, but nobody's got that love for the club that Callum's got, especially coming through the youth all the way through.
Tomorrow it is Hibernian at Celtic Park. The High Bees, as they like to be known, are led by Lee Johnson and sit 4th in the Scottish Premiership. Celtic have won another game, 3-1 this afternoon against Hibernian. Stevie is back in the channel from Celtic Park, where it's not raining anymore. That's the wee weather report. It has been raining. Horrible afternoon, Stevie.
Awful, just awful, and my attire has a lot to be desired, thinking I'll get away with this because it's waterproof and all that, and the players run about in it, but the players being players are fit and athletic, and I'm quite the opposite, just sitting eating a pie and getting freezing in this. So I wish I had a big jacket like yours, Hamish. But that's what it ends. I don't wish I had any more of your attire or that.
Riveting conversation, mate. I think
Great
people
stuff,
hope we move on and chat about the game. Talk us through your concern this afternoon. When did it reach its peak?
Probably half time, 1-0 down. Me and Hamish are in a group chat, and at 1-0 down, and obviously the fact that we were 6 points ahead because you knew Rangers were going to win at Motherwell anyway. And the fact that David Marshall was pulling off some great saves.
3 or 4.
So yeah, my concern, and Hatate going off was one. I think bringing in a player like Turnbull, who no disrespect to him, but he's just nowhere near the level of Hatate quality wise. So at half time, I took the decision to work myself into that much of a frenzy about all this.
It's not like you.
That I removed myself from the group chat with Hamish and the guys, which was a great laugh. I'm sure we'll come back and laugh about it at some point in the season, but honestly,
I'm laughing right now.
Thanks for that.
Alright everyone, it's Monday and bang! Just like that, we're into the international break. Apologies if I just made you leap out your skin there. I felt I had to get your attention there nice and early, because it's very easy during international breaks just to kind of slip away into your own world. But this one is going to be different. It's the first international break of 2023, and I'm going to stay focused for the next fortnight. We're going to maybe delve into other wee Celtic areas, but it's going to very much be business as usual. No boredom here, everyone. 8 main players away. Aaron Moy was meant to be away with Australia, but earlier today it was announced that he'd been withdrawn from the squad due to injury. So, a really strong contingent left at Lennoxtown, the likes of Carter Vickers, Taylor, Iwata and Moy, all dealing with wee injuries at the moment. So hopefully they're going to be in tip-top condition when we return after the break. We'll just take a wee look at this run of form, and all those green W's there beside the games are obviously matches that we won. 19 matches in total, 18 of them won by the team, with the other being a very decent draw at Ibrox. We're back, it's Friday, we have reached the weekend once again. I've been a little bit under the weather over the last few days, but I'm fighting fit. Hamish is back, Ange is back, and Celtic are back. Now, you will probably only care for 2 of those things, but all 3 are true. It is Friday, and we've got a Celtic game to look forward to this weekend. Yes.
Hello and welcome to another edition of 67 Hail Hail. I am your host, John McGinley, joined here by Assam to discuss a Celtic victory over Ross County. We went into the weekend 9 points clear, Assam. We've come out of it 9 points clear. How are you feeling after that? What was almost a roller coaster of a 90 minutes, I would suggest.
Yeah, I think the main word for me is relief after that. I said to you just off air there, I was a nervous wreck for the second half. Probably shouldn't be. We should probably obviously trust the players in this group that they'll see the job out. But there was points in that second half, and I was just itching for that second goal just to give us the comfort. Very similar to kind of previous games we've had at Dingwall, I think, where we were 1-up and then we get the clincher quite late on just to finish it. But yeah, we'll touch on the game, I'm sure. But yeah, overriding feeling of kind of just relief and just glad that we're going into next week still 9 clear.
I don't know about you, but I actually found it a really interesting 90 minutes. I'm not sure if it's because we're coming out of an international break and I was just so excited to see Celtic and get back into talking about Celtic things again, or it was because there was a slight reshuffle in the midfield, or kind of what it was, or the way kind of County had a little bit of momentum at the start of that second half. I just found it an interesting 90 minutes overall. I wanted to touch on something you said there though, because I was going to bring him up, and it was Alistair Johnston, and I thought he was superb today. The great thing about Johnston, he's so combative, like he's so up for the fight. I think he's tailor-made for Scottish football. Like, I think he relishes games like today, and I think it was good that he was, showing so much and showing so much personality in the way he plays, as well as being so effective.
Right, okay everyone, we are on the eve of another major Celtic game. It feels like these derbies are coming around pretty regularly at the moment. This one is at Celtic Park. I am also at Celtic Park. You might not be able to tell that behind me because the lighting's a wee bit funny. Hopefully you can see me all right. Never fails to amaze me, guys, how quiet Celtic Park is, not on match days, and then you get to the game tomorrow and everyone's going to be here, apart for the Rangers fans, but they're going to be up for it in the Celtic end.
It should be an interesting one. Obviously, we spoke a lot before before the final, and what the team selections and stuff would be, and I don't think there'll be many surprises. Obviously, wait to see who's fit for Celtic, but it'll be interesting to see what Rangers do to try and stop Celtic.
Hello everyone, how are we this fine Saturday? It's quite warm at the game today. It's chilled down a wee bit, about plus 12 now, Assam. It's been marvellous, mate. We're going to be doing a lot of smiling, everyone. A lot of smiling, not as much talking, because my voice is struggling. I just want to clarify, this is water, maybe. I'm not sure. But my word, amazing, mate, amazing.
Exhausted, but absolutely buzzing, delighted. Still on such a high. Just walking down as we approach the bar here. Just absolutely delighted.
Where are we? Give them a shout out.
Babbity Bowster, as always.
You had to read that off the screen there. You didn't know that off by heart.
I've not been here before, other than for the videos. So there you go.
Great place, great food, great drinks. It is heaving downstairs. You can probably maybe hear the faint noise of people enjoying their Saturday. Very happy after today's game.
It's just a roller coaster of emotions. It was that kind of game as well. Obviously, so many ups and downs, and just that last 10 minutes, you were just delighted when that full-time whistle went, and then you can fully start the celebration. So yeah, buzzing now, but during it, you're absolutely done in.
Asim wanted to enjoy his final 10 minutes. I think the Celtic defence didn't fancy that. We fancied making it very nervy for ourselves. In a way, though, it kind of made the full-time whistle more spectacular. It was like the cup final again. I caught a wee bit of Andrew's kind of post-match comments, and the gist of it seemed to be, we always find a way. And I think Andrew was saying it's hard to kind of evaluate the performance so soon after when you've still got the emotions going. But he said, it's about winning, and we always seem to find a way. And it's, it's a glorious thing. Yeah, we weren't at our best today. I think that's, a totally fair point. But when we weren't at our best, we still beat them. Yeah. And for me, Rangers aren't a bad team. Aye. I know people might not like me saying that. They're nowhere near the level of us. But compared to what we play in Scotland, they're not a bad team. And you saw that at times today. But this team, Celtic, always stands up and always seems to find a way to win. And, we're 12 points clear now. I think we've got 7 matches to go. You're really now, counting down. I think we need 10 points more. Yeah. 10 points. 10 I think points, before today it was like 16 or something like that. So we've got a couple of games coming up. Kelly away next week. That'll be a challenge, but you now have real breathing room. I mean, you can afford to lose at Ibrox now. You can afford to probably lose another game, and still you've got that real breathing room going into the split. So it's,
we need to drop points in 5 games out of 7.
Yeah.
So we're going to win the league, and it was nice just to do that today. Like you said, we had that one last year where we drew this fixture, the kind of corresponding fixture. Yeah. Today, it was ebbed and flowed, but I think we were still the better team despite not being at our best and far from it. I still think we were the better team. I think we deserved it on that second half. And yeah, we were missing a couple of players as well. Like you've got Rio Hatate still to come back into that team, whereas I know they were missing Golson, but other than that, that's all they've really got to offer. Mm-hmm. And yeah, they're not bad, but I don't think they're near us. There might be chat about the gap, but the gap's clear for all to see. Like Beale's had 3 games now against us, 2 defeats and a draw.
Celtic still don't perform to their absolute best. They still get the job done, and they managed to do that a lot under Ange. More so last season than this season particularly. But there has been their moments within the season as well, and that's what champions do. That's what good teams do. They know how to win, even though when they're not actually playing at their elite best. And I think Celtic and Ange would admit that they weren't at their very best, particularly that first half, when very sloppy in possession. I think that was a build-up from the week before. But overall, you've got to be pleased with it. And the pleasing thing was when the chances came, they took them.
Now, the current team is on 98. That's a ratio of 3.16 per match. If we keep that up until the end of the season, we will hit a remarkable 120 goals this Premiership season.
I think you have got to be positive. I mean, it was going to be a tricky or difficult game of day, wasn't it? And it was all about 3 points, Hamish. But it was a weird second half. I think, talking positives though, that first half hour, we were brilliant. Yeah. I mean, after the press conference on Friday, remember Ange was saying how he wasn't too happy about last week's display against Rangers. They felt we could play better and the overall quality of football wasn't great, he was saying. He stressed that a few times to the media, and then the way that the players came out in that opening half hour, thought they were brilliant, played some really good football, scored some excellent goals as well, Hamish. And just in general, you were thinking after Matt O'Reilly, I think, made it 4-0, you're thinking, this is going to be another Dundee United. I know it didn't quite work out that way, and there are people miffed about it. I get that too, and I'll talk about our demands have went up since Andrew's come in because our standards are higher, which is a good thing. I think most fans would be coming away for a 4-1 defeat, Hamish, thinking, "Oh, good, that was excellent," and talking it all up. But we are a different fan base because we're more demanding, and I think that's a good thing. But certainly for the first half hour, plenty of positives. We were excellent.
Celtic are playing tomorrow. Motherwell visit Celtic Park. Right, not the best day at the office for Celtic today. Drop points in the league at Celtic Park for the first time this season. I feel like I always do a weather report at this stage. It's like cold in it, overcast. Fair play for cheering us all up with whatever this is, Steve.
Whatever what is. What have I done?
So he does his bit, everyone. He gives you a laugh on a tough day.
Thanks, I'm not even trying to.
You were saying like you felt from the start of the game. First half we were alright, no?
Nah, I just don't think we gave Liam Kelly enough to do. I really didn't think we created enough, and we're very passive in the middle of the park. The only player that was taking responsibility was Calum McGregor. Thought he was the only player that I would say got pass marks in that first half. And usually after a Celtic game, Hamish, I'm always coming up saying 3 or 4 players caught the attention and really stepped up for us, and I'm always raving about them. Today I can solely say it was just Calum McGregor, the only one in the first half looking to do something.
Awata was alright.
Awata as well, to be fair, was decent.
See, we're up to 2 now.
That's it. No, that is it. Just
listen, Saturday was slightly disappointing, a bit drab, but the weekend turned out alright in the end after what happened yesterday. We're now extremely close, on the brink of winning the Premiership title this season. Honestly, we're so close. If only I could find a way to show you how close. Oh, there we go. Thank you very much, Alfredo. Appreciate your service there. Here's the league table, everyone. This is what it looks like now. As you can see there, the league is now split into 2, with our final 5 matches of the season against each of the other sides currently inside the top 6. Now, we do require just 1 win from our final 5 matches. They have instead sent us to a ground where I think we get 14 tickets, Tynecastle. That is, however, 14 more than we get for the following game, which is Rangers at Ibrox. By then, we'll surely be champions, certainly by the following week when we host St Mirren, in a kind of strange Saturday 3 p.m. game, which feels a little out of place at that late stage of the season. Then we have Hibs at Easter Road in midweek, and Aberdeen at home for good old Trophy Day on Saturday, the 27th of May. Hopefully you are kind of getting to that stage now where you're starting to get properly buzzing for tomorrow's game against Rangers at Hampden. It is Celtic with the League Cup in the bag. The league is almost in the bag. Semi-final of the Scottish Cup. Kind of going for a treble, guys. We can talk about that now. Joe and Asim are with me here. They've been good enough to join me. I couldn't make it down to Hampden, guys, but if I go like that, that'll make no sense to either of you two, but people watching at home will hopefully get what I just did there. I was doing a bit prep work for this video, and it kind of, how it suddenly hits you at some stage. You kind of saunter through the week and you think, the game's there, but you're kind of just getting through it, and then it hits you at one point and you go, God, we've got a big game this weekend. Is it kind of hit you yet?
Yeah, I've been the same. I've been quite relaxed all week, and then I think it was just seeing the pictures of the lads in training yesterday, and I think that's kind of got me fired up again, and you're just ready for it. It's such a big game, obviously, but I've been quite relaxed and not feeling as nervous as I have maybe like I did for the final or even the recent league game. Don't know why that is. Just feel like we're in a good place. Obviously, we all know about the result last week, but I just feel like we've got less pressure on us for this one, and I'm feeling pretty confident.
Hello everyone, how are we doing? What a fine day. We're Celtic playing today.
don't ask me anything in it.
Quick disclaimer, we don't often have a wee drink on camera, but I feel like today is the perfect kind of day to give it a go. A wee Arthur Guinness to enjoy. Stevie, you can probably tell for just about a second's glance at Stevie that you've already had a few Guinness today.
Listen, don't worry about that.
I think we'll let you away with it today. It's been a special day, but do you want to get a wee disclaimer in yourself, just in case you say anything terrible?
Listen, I'm off it, but I'll have a couple tonight.
Oh man, Stevie, you were at the pub today watching it. I was at the game.
Thanks for rubbing that one in there, Hamish. Cheers. There's the guy that got you the ticket as well, sitting near us as well, I believe.
Yeah, we'll give him a shout out at the end.
A legend.
Are you alright?
I'm fine, I'm good. Listen, the main thing is, it's not about me. Celtic won, and that's what everybody is all caring about. No, if I go to the game and you go to the game, let's be honest.
Yeah. Amazing, mate. Genuinely.
Aye,
How buzzing
superb.
are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
It's right up there with 10. It's an amazing chance to. I mean, well, they're going to cool the treble talk. It's just about getting to the final. But beat
I'm
Rangers,
not cooling any treble talk.
Well, I am, because we're still a team we've got to go and beat. So let's show a bit of respect here. I know that you don't show respect to me on a daily basis anyway, but still.
Mick wants to see your big Stevie grin.
Sounds like my name. I have got a big grin. I'm
There you
enjoying
go.
the humble
Oh.
G as well. I think you always knew it was just going to be down to one moment, and it was just going to be a horrible game of football. It was just about taking that chance, and we did. We got a one moment. We took it. Rangers switched off. We didn't, and we, and then got through because of it.
For me, it was really similar to probably the last, kind of losing count, certainly the last 3 derbies now. So the final at Hampden, the game recently at Celtic Park, and the game today, all very similar games. We have not been, I don't think we've been near our best in any of them. I really don't think we've played near that top level that we can in any of those matches. And they've all been tight. They've all been us kind of hanging on going into the last 10 minutes. They've all been very nervy. But it is no coincidence that this Celtic team has come out on top in all of them. You just know that we're going to win and they're going to fall short again.
I just wanted to dispute when you say hanging on, because I didn't feel today we were. Yeah. I mean,
we were for a bit in the second half.
Nervy is the best description, because there was times where, as I say, Rangers, their entire game plan, they just played for set pieces. That was all it was. They played for set pieces, they played for corners, and that's all they tried to do. And it was only really when I think they had a set piece that I thought, we really have to defend
They're
this.
the most set piece team ever.
I've been following Celtic for over 30 years.
God, he's doing his own jokes today.
I know. And even in the 90s, there were Rangers players that could do his damage for open play. But I've never seen such a set piece orientated Rangers team in my life. And the fact that we defended them so well made me very proud, and that's why after we defended the first few, I thought we'll be okay. We're going to be capable for the rest of the game here. And I guess we'll come on to man in the match, but CCV just utterly imperious.
We've got Inverness in the final for, if we say the league's won, we've got Inverness in the final for the treble. I mean, you would have taken that at the start of the season.
Yes, you would have. And
what a day out it's going to be. It's going to be magic.
99 out of 100, you've got to fancy us to win, but we've still got to do our job.
We certainly enjoyed our night on the town last night.
You want to strafe on that whistle. You just want to go out there, dominate possession, try and get an early goal as soon as possible, just to relax the nerves. Don't get me wrong, we can't see Celtic not winning this title. It's eventually going to happen, but you want it done and dusted as soon as possible. I think they're trying for straight Celtic, obviously trying to disappoint their day, but once that first goal goes in, it sort of relaxed nerves, and then the flow starts coming. And like you said, obviously the last few games has been disappointing performances. I thought Sunday wasn't the greatest, at times, especially second half, but I just can't see Celtic not winning that game on Sunday.
Champions again, ole ole. Champions again, ole ole. Stevie.
Champions again.
Champions again. Champions again, ole ole. That wasn't awkward at all, mate.
No, it's a bit of progress in it. I refused to sing with you last season, but we are champions officially.
Listen, we get pelters last week for how drunk you were. I'm delighted to announce that Stevie is much more sober this week. We are going to celebrate though. Champions.
Indeed. Well, I'd be silly not to.
It would.
What is wrong with that Guinness? Not a lot.
Not a lot. Right, everyone, how we doing? Celtic have won the league again, and it just feels marvellous.
It does.
Hang on.
You're actually doing it. Wait to see this.
There's your thumbnail.
Never looked better, I have to say. What an improvement.
I feel horrendous now.
Look at it as well.
It does feel amazing though, doesn't it? It never gets old.
Yeah, that the moment when that goal went in from Kyogo was just so memorable. It was sublime, and I actually thought it went by the post for a second. That's great. Thought it went by the post for a second as well, but you knew when that goal went in that there was never any doubt at all. I think this team, especially after last week, which was a very difficult match at times in the second half, and they saw it out pretty well, you knew that at 1-0 they were going to do the same, and Hearts, I think as well, we did say after the first 10 minutes when they threw everything at us, I did say to you, I don't think they can sustain that all game. They didn't, and their job was made difficult for the sending off that they got, and it was a sending off, by the way. Anybody doubting that at all?
Who could you possibly be referring to there?
I will just say his name, Andy Walker.
If you think we are going to spend a video after we've just won the league chatting about Andy Walker, then you're 100% correct. That's what we're going to do. Just after we finished the video on Sunday, we headed off to Celtic Park, and it was pretty wild, I must say. Enjoyable, Scott, wasn't it, just to see Celtic get over the line? In fact, over the line isn't even the right phrase to use, is it? Because we're so much better than the rest.
Absolutely, as proven once again on the weekend, and still more to come as well. Still more to be achieved, even for the season to be finished. I think reaching the 100-point mark, reaching probably the highest points mark, is something that club wants to achieve itself. Obviously already scored 100 goals. There's just been some fantastic performances throughout this campaign, and whenever there's been questions asked, this team's answered them every single time of asking this season.
The main take home is just the absolute dominance and consistency of it. It's just been relentless right from the off. I don't think there's been a stage in the season where we've not felt we're going to win this league. Whereas obviously last season it was very different. It was up and down. I think just from the minute we won that first derby match, I think it's just been, well, even before that we've been putting in great performances and big results right from the off, and it's just the sheer relentless consistency of this side, which I think, as Scott said, I think that will be in the minds of the players and the manager to maybe try and break those records, because I think this season deserves it. We've been that good and we've been that dominant that it would be fitting if we do go on and achieve those records.
And we're going to make this a bit of a preview for Saturday's derby against Rangers. Probably a bit of a half-hearted preview, is that fair to say? I'm setting him up because he's given it all the friendly patter all week.
No. And I'm still sticking to that, because this is the first time, after the last 4 games against them, where I have felt, probably like everyone else, emotionally drained. It's going to be nice to go into a game against them and just relax a wee bit.
We're on, Stevie. You weren't even paying attention there, which is kind of fitting, because that's how the majority of Celtic's players played today. What's the record kind of minimum time we've taken to do a video? Because I feel like we might be going for it today. Just terrible stuff in general. Awful.
Yeah. And that sums up the video. Right, well, we'll just call it an hour then, aye.
Right, okay, we're at Celtic Park after Celtic 2, St Mirren 2. Weather report is it's quite a calm day. That match wasn't very calm. That was a frantic game.
It was actually quite an enjoyable game, obviously,
so,
despite the result, and I think St Mirren contributed to that. They came and I thought they were pretty decent. And as much as obviously it wasn't the result we wanted again, I think the energy from the team was fine. Just some of the obviously quality, and we'll touch on obviously some of the more finer details of it. But it was pretty frantic, and you were engaged right throughout, I thought.
You did hear me saying a couple of weeks ago, I just want to see the season over and done with now. I think you can see why. It's just slowly turned into a bit of a shambles. It's, of course, these games, Hamish, I'm sure will be all forgotten if next Saturday, and there is an if now, by the way, at Hampden. If next Saturday that we obviously beat Inverness, and we'll maybe look back on all these and have a laugh and go, do you remember the daft games?
Poor display last night, Jackie. 2-1 up at Easter Road and we go on to lose 4-2. Never great. But how much of this can we put down to the fact that the league has already been won? What do you think?
Yeah, I think that is the case. I mean, Hibs are still going for something there. they needed the result. Whereas Celtic, I mean, they've made a lot of changes. Have changed goalkeeper, back four's been changed the last few games, and obviously it gives Ange a chance to look at things as well for players that are maybe been knocking on his door waiting for an opportunity.
Noticeably, obviously, Carter Vickers, which is the one that we've all noticed. We've conceded 9 goals in 3 games, which isn't great. But Alistair Johnson as well, he's been brilliant for us. So you do notice that. In terms of Saturday, yeah, I do feel now that it does kind of play a bit more significance than ordinarily it might have, just because I feel like we need that kind of boost, be it performance, result, just to get the place lifted. It's been too good a season for it to kind of fizzle out.
That time of the year when Celtic, for some reason, allow us inside the actual stadium and to record a video. It can only be trophy day, Stephen.
Well, it is. So
it was good though, enjoyed it.
That was great.
I thought that was kind of everything I was hoping for today. I wouldn't say I was like nervous about trophy day because, it's quite inevitable what happens regardless of the result. Ange is going to be doing a speech, Calum McGregor's going to lift the trophy, etc. But I did think it was important that Celtic put in A good performance, and B, won today. And you can maybe add in a C with a clean sheet, given what we've gone through since we won the league. That was Celtic back to their best today. I thought the team came out with a real drive today, similar to last year against Motherwell. I know Aberdeen were basically on the beach anyway, and I thought they were awful today, given that they finished third the other night. But I thought Celtic were brilliant.
Yeah, they were right. I mean, they looked way more sharper in the first 10-15 minutes as well. And what I liked today was when McGregor, O'Reilly, Hatate, things weren't coming off for them, in the first 10-15 minutes. Times we gave the ball away. Sometimes a wee bit sloppy, even though, I've contradicted myself saying we were sharp. But, there's a lot of interchanges, weren't they quite there. But they didn't let their heads go down, they kept working, and they eventually broke Aberdeen down just with that first play. I mean, the ball from McGregor to Taylor, I believe it was, and then he feeds Kyogo. What a finish.
I know Ange was asked about this yesterday, but Taylor plays as a centre mid now. You see, if you watch him, he plays more as a centre mid than he does it at left back, and he's clearly he said he played as a centre mid growing up, so it clearly suits him.
Helped as well that Aberdeen were a bit open today. They didn't just sit in, they didn't camp in the half. I felt they were at times.
I felt a lot of the time they were 11 men behind the ball.
Nah, I didn't really notice it that way. I just felt as if they were looking to break.
Then. Put the mic down, we'll come back. Celtic have got a cup final to look forward to tomorrow, where we could complete a record-breaking 8th treble. Jackie's here. Asim's here as well. Guys, everything's good in the world. There's nothing at all to be worried about. Nothing at all, guys. Is that the case, Asim?
On the face of it, you're right. We're on the brink of a historic treble. It should be all, feel good, and we should all be excited, and we are. But obviously, we're going to address the elephant in the room.
A few different outlets reporting various things about Ange and Tottenham Hotspur. On Wednesday, we had the Evening Standard reporting that Spurs would step up their approach for Ange after the Scottish Cup final, and that he was a contender for that job. Later in the day, we then had Sky Sports kind of jumping on the bandwagon a wee bit, but reporting that Ange was emerging as a preferred candidate for the Spurs gig. Then yesterday, The Sun down south said that Spurs were set to announce Ange as their new boss as early as next week. Okay everyone, Celtic have just won their 5th treble in 7 seasons, Stevie. We can chat about the game, and we maybe will, but number one caveat is, that ground Hampden, it's not great for a view, and I think I was row U today, which doesn't sound horrendous. What would that be, about 20 odd rows back? But view was horrendous, and I don't think the game was great, to be honest. So we can chat about that if you want, but I feel like the bigger story is full time and the celebrations and the fact Celtic have won another treble. But can we just say, right, we've got Aussies here. I know they pretend they get a bit of sunshine and other people in sunny parts of the world, but
it's got to diss myself at any Australia slagging, right? I think they're great.
I think this is the warmest day Scotland's ever experienced.
No, because we all like to point out my age, or rather Hamish does, but there was a time back when I was 18 that it was a genuine record-breaking heat at over 30 degrees, so I can always remember where I was that day in Charing Cross with my skin peeling off. That was nothing compared to that, although I was in the shade, so that's maybe...
Genuinely, it was anyone watching this, were you in the east stand or maybe the other stand that I don't know what direction that would be, but it was honestly, see the first half, roasting hot but amazing. Like, everyone was just in an incredible kind of party mood today from the start. I think it helped that we were playing Inverness, and everyone kind of, I don't want to say the game was a formality because we still had to go and win it, and we did, but I think everyone kind of expected Celtic to do the business today. I certainly didn't feel a great amount of nerves in the lead up to the game like we've experienced in the past, but I just thought the weather and the fact Celtic were going for a treble just really added to an incredible day. I mean, as I say, we will come and talk about the players, but I just think the Celtic support today were incredible. That rendition of Fields at Athenry was like the loudest I have ever heard that song. I thought it was amazing. The fans were singing from the first minute to the last, and there was over 40,000 there today. I mean, it's an incredible support. It's been an amazing season.
It has. I mean, this
Loved
has been...
it.
Obviously, it's been a downer doing it with you and everything, but...
I was a bit to be very earnest
No,
there.
you weren't.
I was.
No, it has been it's been a fantastic season.
Mate, I have loved this season. I've loved the last 2 seasons. I've loved watching this Celtic team under Ange. I hope to God that Ange is around next season because I want this to continue. But if today is the end, I will look back at these as being 2 of the most enjoyable seasons I've ever had supporting Celtic. I've loved going to the games. I've loved just watching the team at home, at pubs. I've loved, spending time with you and some of the other guys and enjoying this team. And I've loved doing these videos as well. It's been an unbelievable season. See, a few weeks ago when we won the league, I kind of looked back at last season and I was thinking this season lacked the drama of the title race of last season. Last season didn't have a treble. Last season didn't have a Scottish Cup. This season does have both of those things, and for me this season has been right up there in terms of supporting Celtic. The consistency the team's shown, and today was just the icing on top of the cake.
Yeah, I'll drop the act for a minute. I mean, you've known the type of fan I was, hard to please, and at times under Brendan Rodgers and especially under Neil Lennon, I got wound up, I got frustrated because I always felt we could do far better, and I wasn't emotionally connected with the manager or certain players. When Ange Postecoglou came in, got really angry, of course, after the COVID season, and then when Ange came in from day one, myself, you and majority of the fans were just right behind him. because I've always said for day one he was very open and honest with us, and he just said he didn't, how with any bullshit quotes or that. He was just very transparent and upfront, and that's what I, identified with. I just love to hear it.
Ange Postecoglou has left Celtic officially now. He's joined Tottenham Hotspur. He signed a 4-year deal with them. The news was announced by both Celtic and Spurs at around about 10:30 this morning. Celtic had a statement that went out. It included words from CEO Michael Nicholson, Chairman Peter Lawwell, Ange himself, and of course club captain Calum McGregor. Brendan Rodgers is the new Celtic manager. We can officially say that now. It was rubber stamped and confirmed by the club just after noon on Monday. First on the stock exchange and then in this social media post. It seems to me like everything else that was going on at the club when Ange was here is going to continue, right down to people like Harry Kewell remaining at the club, which I kind of would have been a bit surprised about a couple of weeks ago. I think it's great though. It seems like all the recruitment stuff is going to continue. All of the things that Ange kind of brought about, off the pitch as well. The methods. And we're just going to have another top level manager coming into the club. So I am so excited.